Join me on Kumite Radio is Frank the Crank Camacho. He will be fighting on September 9th at UFC 228 against Geoffrey Neal in Dallas, Texas. What's going on, Frank?
Yo, what's up? Dude, that's right. In this side of the world, it's on the 9th, right? But in the States, it's in the US, it's the 8th. So kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, man, September 9th, and then I'm the first fight of the night. So for those of you guys that are planning on watching, man, please tune in, dude. We're me and Jeff Neal are gonna be opening up the fight card.
For sure, man, for sure. But before we get into the fight, I want to talk about Trench Wars 20. You were refereeing a fight, and an illegal kick landed. The recipient was rocked. He came at you. He was throwing haymakers at you. But the crazy part is, you didn't even flinch. What was going through your mind at that time, man?
Dude, so first the illegal kick happened, right? And earlier in the fight, I think you could tell there was bad blood, so they were just gonna scrap. And I was like, okay, all right, here, just be ready, dude. And then when that happened, I was like, oh man, whoa, that can happen. And then crazy thing is, usually the natural reaction of an MMA fighter is to go for the leg, right? Man, you get rocked and you come in and you go, and then you see referees get like double legged or whatever, right? Dude, this kid, when he got rocked, his first instinct was get up and scrap, dude. So he was swinging at me, and I was just like, whoa, dude, this is like a 10-punch combination, dude. And then, man, I look, well, first off, the video went viral. The video went viral, and I was just like, man, it probably would have been even more viral if he freaking knocked me out, dude. Thank goodness. He landed two clean shots. Man. I clinched him. Thank goodness he was like probably half my size, and I was like, hey, no, calm down, man, you're good. And then he was just looking at me, but his eyes were still rolled back when I was holding him, And then when I finally got to the cage, he was like, oh, Frank, man, I'm sorry. So if anything, I kind of freaked out at first, like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. And then I was just, if anything, you see me smile while I was holding him. It was because I saw how game he was, and I saw how much of a fighter he was, and I was like, wow, that was so cool. I could totally appreciate that, I mean, aside from getting, hey, he won the fight. DQ.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was a wild video. When it went viral, it was just like, what is going on? And then he was swinging at you, and you're just like calm. And then that one kind of clipped you a little bit, and you kind of clinched him. And yeah, it was interesting to see how that all worked out.
Yeah, man, it really worked out. And honestly, the best part about it was afterwards, his mom actually came up to me. His mom or his auntie, I don't know, came up to me and was like, man, Frank, thank you so much for taking care of my boy. I was, and for me, my natural instinct was like, man, he's rocked, he's hurt, but a lot of guys are, dude, you could have freaking decked him, bro. And I'm like, man, dude, nah, dude, if anything, I should ask freaking Cookie Alvarez, the promoter, for my freaking check. He threw me in the fight card and not even knowing, dude.
No doubt, no doubt. You signed with the UFC after you had more than 20 fights already. You're a true veteran. Nowadays, a lot of fighters, they seem to be rushed into the UFC after around 10 fights. What do you think about a lot of these fighters? Do you think that they're being rushed into the spotlight?
Man, a lot of them are very skilled. They definitely have the skill. But man, for me, it's, man, you go earn your, earn your shit, dude. Like, go in there and earn your shit. And I feel in order to get called to the UFC, man, you have to earn it. Whether it's knowing knowing the right managers or making the right connects, winning the right fights, signing with the right promotions. It's a very unforgiving game, and for me, some guys are just in the limelight, and I just, unfortunately for me, I took the long road, but for me, I think it's fortunate that I took the long road, and now I'm bringing in years of experience into the UFC. Some guys get signed to the UFC and then they get cut, and then that's it. So I feel like this is like the perfect time for me. I wish I would have made it into the house in 2012 when I fought Neil Magny to get into the house, but how much I've learned and I've developed from then fighting in PXC and fighting in the local shows and fighting in Saipan and Trench Wars and in Rites of Passage, man, I've learned so much that I'm kind of thankful that I signed when I did. Although it was a long road though.
Even though you took the long road, does it allow you to be who you really are? Because a lot of guys now, it seems like they're not being who they really are. They're kind of creating a character for themselves because they
Yeah.
are so young.
What do you mean? How so?
You know, kind of like they're kind of like following the trend now of talking trash.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you know, you see a lot of guys saying, "Oh, I didn't mean what I said." You know, that's not being yourself.
Yeah, dude, and I think man, that's just being a martial artist, and or just being just the type of person you are in general. Like, are you gonna be true to yourself? Are you gonna just create hype? And I feel Chelson, and he really explained it right. Is like, hype. What is hype? I feel like if I create hype, it's I'm shorting and I'm kind of cheating the end user, the viewer of watching, because it's just hype. But really, I'm just being myself, and Chelsea was just really telling it how he saw it, but in his own crazy way and marketing way, but if anything, I'm just trying to be myself. And dude, I'm gonna, I'm not a big shit talker, but I'll definitely go out there and I'll put it all on the line and I'll fight. So yeah, to each his own. And maybe that might have taken that might be the reason for me taking this the long way. But hey, man, I'll live and die by the sword. I'll be true to myself.
You mentioned earlier about 2012, the Tough House. You didn't make it in. Even though you did not make it in, were there some major takeaways from that time that you have carried with you till this day?
Yes, 100%. So when I fought Neil Magny, right? Just watch the replay. I came in there guns blazing. Well, first off, I uh I didn't bring my mouthpiece, so I had to use the boil one. So that dude, that was the worst, man. That freaking sucked, dude. And then I in the first round I clipped him with a big left hook. I broke my hand. But then Mandrillion was running, dude. I was already about to finish the fight. I took him down. I got as soon as I passed from halfway to mount, dude. There was a head and arm choke that I had. I let it go, dude, because I saw Dana White and I saw Shane Carwin and I saw Big Country Nelson and they were there and I was like, man, I'm gonna show them that I'm freaking here to work, dude. I let go the sub and I freaking started pounding. Neil gave me his back. I had the rear naked choke. I let it go again and I just started pounding and I started pounding. So the biggest lesson that I learned, and it's probably one of the best in my career, and I'm so glad that it happened, the way that it did. Although I thought I really jacked up my life, because I didn't make it into the UFC when my opportunity. It was, man, just use all the tools and don't fight to entertain, fight to win. Considering I got 3 fight of the nights, but fight to win.
Definitely. Well, let's talk about your last fight. The judges gave the nod to Drew Dober. A lot of fans and pundits, they have differing opinions about the outcome. Once the fight is over, do you dwell on the result or is it easy for you to let it go and move forward?
That fight, I knew it was very close, That fight was very, very close with Drew Dober. That 30-27, I don't know about that scorecard. That was a little weird, but it was close. It could have gone either way. Usually the Frank Camacho years ago, man, you know what? So back to when I lost the Ultimate Fighter, dude, I almost went depressed, bro, like months. Dude, I deleted all my social media, everything. I didn't talk to no one, like for months, man. I was going through it. So, and from that I've learned, how, dealing with losses. And the last fight with Drew Dober, I was just like, man, I lost. There's a lot, it was definitely results needed for the future Frank Camacho, so I'm taking everything that I've learned that last fight and how do I become a better fighter and martial artist for my next future fights.
That fight was about 8 months ago. I know that you had an ankle injury for a moment, but were there any other setbacks that kept you out of the cage?
No, not so much. If honestly, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. Uh, man, 4 fights, that's the 3 UFC fights, and then the one fight that I fought this, and I forgot his name, but I fought him in rites of passage, dude. The fight right before I got signed.
The
So
Korean
I
kid?
fought, dude, that guy was tough, bro. Holy cow. Um, and he was huge. Dude, there's a point in my cornerman when he threw me to the cage, they couldn't see me because his back was like so wide. Yeah, but anyway, I fought 4 times in like 8 months, 9 months. And this well needed. I was supposed to fight on the UFC Singapore card, but because of an injury. But yeah, man, it was a very good blessing in disguise that I was able to take 8 months off and just really, really focus and learn and all the shoulda, woulda, couldas from my last 3 fights and how I can implement that for my next one. So it was a really good time off. And my wife was pregnant. We gave birth. She gave birth to a beautiful son. We got a new house. Renovating the house. So, yeah, man, life's good, bro. And it all happens for a reason.
Oh, congratulations on the new addition to your family, man.
Yeah, he's great, bro. His name is Rocky.
Well, in that time period, did you focus on any other aspects of your game, or did you work with any new coaches outside of your normal circle?
No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I have so much tools in the toolbox, man, John. And I was slowly showing it little by little per fight, but I just need to, the experience. I have 9 rounds. I have 9 rounds in the UFC, and it is 9 rounds of experience that I need to that I wish I wish I should have done this on the ground. I wish I should have done that in the clinch. I wish I could have done this striking or standing. So I feel like even though I've had so many fights in my career, man, I'm still such an infant martial artist, and such an infant fighter that I feel like there's so much room to grow and I'm still growing and I can't wait honestly for this next fight so that I could do everything that I wish I had done in my last 3 fights and really be proactive in executing it in this one.
Speaking of your next fight, Geoff Neal, UFC 228. This has the potential to be another show stealer. What do you think about another potential fight of the night?
Hey, I mean, I don't like getting punched in the face a lot, if that's your question. No, but man, when we got the matchup, when we got the call, I was like, man, Sean Shelby, you know what you're doing with this matchup, it's kind of cool, and I'm kind of glad, that people appreciate my fighting style and what I bring to the cage all the time, and yeah, it's kind of cool, for being a fight under the radar, kind of a fight to tune in, but man, at the end of the day, dude, I want to finish, I want to finish. Hey, we get if it's either gonna end, and Geoff Neal said it himself too. Like it's either gonna end in the first round or man, it's gonna be a 3-round war. And his style will definitely complement mine. So that's what I'm very excited about again. Time to get down and dig down deep. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Neal, he's a middleweight that moved down to welterweight. You are a lightweight that jumped up a weight class. What aspects of this dynamic do you see as advantageous for you?
Um, well, I'm definitely shorter. I love fighting taller guys. Against Drew Dober, I always have issues fighting a little shorter guys. But I like fighting taller guys. He only has like about 2 inches on me, and he's probably dude. Look at the photo that I posted on my IG. This guy is freaking shredded, dude. I was like, what the hell, man? I didn't even want to post a picture of me on the left side of him, but he definitely he's very athletic, and you see it in his fights, athleticism, he definitely has that. But man, nothing changes, dude. I was fighting when people didn't really care about weight classes, there was no, man, at the end of the day, you got 2 fists, 2 legs, and we're getting on the scale at the same time, or we're getting on the scale at the same weight. Man, that doesn't bother me. But if anything, I feel like I have an advantage fighting slightly taller opponent, you know. And then he even said it too. You know, he has a reach advantage, so it's going to be a little different. But our styles, man, are just very complementary. You know, he's a very forward pressure fighter. You know, he moves well moving forward, and I do the same.
You represent Spike 22. It is probably the premier fight team in the region. You have a close-knit group that you work with. Why do you stay with them? Most fighters, they go out and dibble and dab. You seem to stay with your family. Why?
Man, got a good crew, man. Got a good team, good coach. Man, I got Rocky Martinez. If you're preparing for a guy that pressures, you know, like if you're preparing for a pressure fighter, not, you know, there's no better guy than to freaking prep and spar with the Rocky Martinez, dude. Like if you look at his last fight, dude, the guy 3 minutes in when he started getting tired, I was like, I know exactly how that guy freaking feels. And I feel it every freaking Monday during sparring, you know? So, and then Kyle, again, man, up and comer, dude. Like this guy is just freaking good, dude. Like he just gives me so many fits and so many problems in the gym. He's a lefty too, so you know, he just plays a very, very tricky game, man. And you know, just all the other guys at Spike, you know. And then I also do jiu-jitsu, purebred jiu-jitsu, you know, my jiu-jitsu coach, Steve Roberto, and man, the guys there too, they just keep me honest with my ground game, you know. Although not a lot of people have seen it in my UFC fights, you know, because I'm always out there scrapping. But yeah, I have a really good tight knit of guys, and man, not very like we just train very simple island style simple training, you know, man, outside in the back of the house with a cage and some mats, you know, and outside shower, you get to go.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the makeshift gym that you guys used to have. There's rust on the cage, and it was just gritty.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, it just kind of keeps you, it just keeps you grounded, you know. Well, we know whatever that may mean to people, but man, I like it, dude. You know, you're out there, you're sweating, you're putting in your rounds, and you're breathing in like, you know, fresh air, and you hear the chickens on the side, and then when it rains, it kind of cools it off, you know. So it's really cool, you know. As long as we're safe, we train safe. When we train hard, man, I really feel that's and you know, you have a good team behind you. That's really what it's all about, you know. And then, you know, going off, a lot of guys go off island, but you know, I really feel that if I stay home and I train with the guys, just like they dedicate their time and their effort with me, we're only gonna grow the sport and grow MMA here on Guam and in the Mariana Islands, you know.
You have 3 fights in the UFC, all fight of the nights. The sport at the end of the day is about wins and losses. Do you feel any pressure going into this fight, or does this not even enter your mind?
You know, to be truthfully honest, man, oh yeah, man, there's pressure. It's my 4th fight and the last on my contract, you know. So I definitely gotta. Man, but honestly though, I'm fighting for a win all the time, you know. So the pressure's there, but it's not different. I'm just gonna go out and do my shit, you know. Like I'm just gonna go out there and do my thing. Like I have my to-dos and my not to-dos, and I have my game plan, and I just gotta go there and just execute it. Go there and do my job for 15 minutes, you know. Whether it could be you know 30 seconds, a minute, or man, if I have to go the whole freaking 15 minutes, you know. But man, I'm ready. I embrace it, man, and I love it, dude. I love it, man. And sometimes I fantasize about tough fights, and I just love tough fights.
All right, September 9th, UFC 228. Frank Camacho will face Geoffrey Neal in Dallas, Texas. Thank you for your time, Frank.
Yeah, brother John, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Kumite Radio is brought to you by Supplement Warfare. Visit their website, supplementwarfare.com.au, for the best quality supplements on the planet. Use coupon code Kumite Radio at checkout to get 10% off of all orders. If you're trying to get sexy for the summer, if you're just trying to flex on fools, Visit supplementwarfare.com.au for the best supplements in the world. Use coupon code Kumite Radio at checkout to get 10% off and support the podcast.